Are you thinking about buying a competitive home? Well, if you are, watch this short video to learn what you should expect in a multiple offer situation. Hi, I'm Blake Davenport with the Davenport Group. I'm a local realtor here in the DC metro area, here to share with you short and simple real estate tips. Today we're going to be talking about what you should expect in a multiple offer situation. Since we're in the DC metro area, super competitive area, almost every single property, if it's presented well, will have multiple offers on it. When I say multiple offers, that's multiple different buyers submitting an offer to purchase the property. So I want to talk about a little bit what you should expect, not as strategies, this and that, that's for another video, but really what you should expect and how the process kind of works. So most properties come on the market typically Thursday or Friday in this area. We're shooting this at the time of COVID. So during that time or this time, the date in which the listings would come out is kind of sporadic. There's been listings that come out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's really a free-for-all, but typically most of the, or majority of your listings come out on Thursday and Friday. They'll have an offer deadline of Monday or Tuesday. So they'll basically give buyers about 3 or 4 days to view the property, do their due diligence, and then make an offer, and they'll have a deadline of that offer, of which all offers need to be submitted by on Monday at 5 o'clock or Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Sometimes it's even Wednesday, but typically it's Monday or Tuesday, the week after the property came on the market. But it just depends on what the listing agent prefers and what the seller and the listing agent kind of agree to. So that's kind of how the process works. If you're interested in making an offer in this area, there's really little negotiation when it comes to a buyer. They don't really go back to several of the offers and say, can you improve these terms? You kind of have to put your best and final offer forward. So what typically happens is if you want to make an offer on a property and say it has an offer deadline of Tuesday or 5 o'clock, we'll compile the offer. We'll talk about all the different terms. I'll advise you on what you should do and what would be the best position to put, or what you could do to put you in the best position possible to have a chance to win. And then we would submit the offer just before the deadline. I never advise submitting the offer way in advance, even if the property comes on Thursday, unless you're trying to force the seller's hand and trying to set a deadline that they need to respond before Friday at 10 a.m. I never submit the offer until pretty much the deadline, because I don't want them to, if they're having an open house, to parade that offer around and say, hey, we have a really good offer. They're not supposed to say what the details of the offer, but some agents have loose lips that sink ships, and they'll just say, well, we have a really aggressive offer. They've waived certain things. They've escalated really high. That kind of tips off the other people. So we typically don't recommend submitting the offer till just before the deadline. And with submitting your best and final offer, you typically have what's called a escalation addendum, because you may be willing to pay more than the sales price for a property. So you have an escalation addendum, which basically you offer the sales price and then you escalate up to your max price and then in intervals. Again, that's a conversation for another video, but that's typically what happens, so you can put your best foot forward. You have to be as aggressive as possible from the beginning, because they're not going to come back to you to revise terms and this or that. Majority of the time, they're not going to come back to you. It is very rare that they come back to you, but some listing agents will come back to 1 or 2 offers and see if they can do a little bit better if they're dead even. But most of the times they'll say, all right, we have 5 offers. We're going with offer number 2. Let's call them. Let's ratify. So typically, say if you're submitting an offer before 5 o'clock, you should hear back if it's good news before the end of the day. I would say if you're not hearing within like 6 hours of the time that you make the offer or the offer's due, it's probably not good news. Sometimes it can take longer, but typically they want to get the ratified contract or come to terms with the buyer that they want to purchase the property as soon as possible. So if you're not hearing till the next day, it's most likely not good news, unfortunately. So there you have it. That's pretty much all you need to know about making an offer in the DC metro area. If you'd like to learn more about the home buying process, click the link below, as we'll have a guide, or our home buyer's guide, on and covering kind of all the steps of the process. If you like this video, click the like icon. Also, leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Love to answer any of the questions that you have. Also, click the subscribe button if you haven't done already, and the bell icon to be notified of our next video. But thanks again for checking out this week's real estate tip on what you should expect in a multiple offer situation.
Let's go.